everybody. Welcome to another session of A Course in Miracles. So, well, it's Halloween over there in the West. Today's November 1st, beautiful new month ahead of us. And we have a full moon in Taurus. And we didn't get to do our astrology this week. I don't know what that was all about, this internet thing kind of petered out, but I don't know, maybe it's Mercury retrograde. You all knew that, right? Mercury's retrograde, going direct on November the 3rd, I think it is, but who knows? Anyway, it's all perfect, isn't it? It's all the way it's meant to be. And the question is, can you flow with what is? Can you flow with what is? Yeah, I like that. Anyway, and it's a blue moon, and we've had 2 full moons in this month, which is so interesting. And not only is the full moon in Taurus, it's also for all of my astrology enthusiasts, it is in a 0-degree conjunct with Uranus. Uranus, we all know what that planet's about, right? Unpredictable change. And that 0-degree conjunction is, kind of side by side. So that's interesting. We have rebellion, maybe, with things going on. Yeah, unpredictability. And because it's in an earth sign, Taurus, well, maybe there's some earthquakes, earth-shaking, shattering news. I think we did have an earthquake in, was it Turkey or Greece? Yeah, a 7.0. Yeah, it's so interesting. Full moons always bring up things that are in the unconscious. That's why people go lunatics. They go a little loony on a full moon, because that which you weren't aware of comes to the surface, or it wants to come up for healing. Yeah. And a lot of it is unconscious guilt. Yep, unconscious guilt. I'm going to talk a little bit more about unconscious guilt. Interestingly enough, I've had a few people inquiring, asking, what is unconscious guilt? Like, really? And, we talk about that in every session. So I'll bring that up a little bit later in our session this morning. The other thing is, for all the Christians out there, it is All Saints Day. Yeah, so that's where we, to saints and martyrs, where we acknowledge. And it's also where the veils are thinnest between dimensions. And it's also said that you can call in your beautiful ancestors and those in the unseen realm that you want to, be with or acknowledge. Yeah, so these next 3 days is about that. And what else did I want to tell you? I made some notes here about the full moon and whatnot. All Saints Day. And it is also, you turned your clocks back, right, in the West? So you're up really early watching this. Yeah. And what else? I think that's it. All right. So before we go on to our lesson 30, I would love to take you inward. I don't know if we're going to do a meditation, as in a real meditation with music playing, because the guy next door is cutting down a tree. And that might go on for a little bit. But I wouldn't mind just closing our eyes for a bit and turning inward and focusing on our higher self. I think that's a good place to start. So with that, everybody go ahead and close your eyes. And as always, we focus on our breath, breathing in love and breathing out everything else. Just really bring all of your focus to the breath. The breath keeps you present. So breathe in love and breathe out fear. Just get a nice momentum going with your breath.
It's a natural, beautiful breath, but you're very focused because in order to ascend consciously, you've got to be in your body, all the way in. You need to be present. You need to be in the moment. So focus on the inhale, breathing in love light, and on the exhale, you are letting go of unconscious guilt and accepting the atonement for yourself. Breathing in love and breathing out fear. I want you to focus on your higher self. The part of you that is all-knowing, all-giving. The part of you that is pure love light. The real you, pure and beautiful love light, known as your higher self. Focus on this beautiful image of yourself that is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. See if you can get a vision or an image in your mind's eye of your I am presence, your higher self. Your beautiful love light, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. And if this vision of light takes the form of a being, that's okay. For some of you, it may take the form of Buddha, might take the form of Jesus Christ, it might take the form of an ascended master or an angel. But all of these forms that you see are all you, your higher self. You have all the answers that you need within you. This love light, this higher self, your I am presence, is the way shower. It is in your mind always. And it is speaking to you on this day, November 1st, this beautiful new day. This beautiful higher self, your I am presence, is asking you to surrender. And to surrender means to forgive the dream. To forgive the dream of separation. That you are in the mind of God. The mind of God is in you. And your I am presence so beautifully says to you, why get agitated? So think of all the troubles that you're facing in your life right now. Just think of all the challenges. You might be facing a health issue. You might be facing a financial challenge or a relationship problem. Just bring all of this into your mind right now. Just know what you're up against. Know what has been bothering you. Hide nothing. Just bring it all up. Your I am presence says, why get agitated about this? Let me take care of all of this. Let me take care of all of this. I'll be the one to think about all of these issues that you seemingly have. I'll be the one to think of all of this for you. But I am waiting for nothing else than your surrender to me. And I'm not outside of you. I'm in you now. So I'm waiting for you to surrender all of these so-called issues to me, these challenges, so that you don't have to worry about them anymore. Just say farewell, bye-bye, to all these fears and discouragement. You know, you demonstrate that you don't trust me. Yeah. But on the contrary, you've got to rely blindly on me. Surrender to me. I know your future. You don't. So turn your thoughts away from troubles. Turn those thoughts away from difficulties. Everything, every challenge and issue that you encounter, turn your thoughts away from every single problem. Can you do that for me? Can you just hand it over? Just go ahead and leave everything in my hands and say, thy will be done. Thy will be done. You think of it. You think of it for me. I'm tired. And that's to say, oh, my beautiful higher self, my Lord, God of my being, I really thank you for you've taken all of this, everything that I'm worried about, into your hands. And you'll resolve this for my highest good. Oh, I can breathe now. I can breathe. Your I Am Present says, you know what? When you think of the consequences of a thing that's contrary to surrender, that is to say, when you worry that a situation has not had the desired outcome, you know what you're doing, beloved? You're demonstrating to me that you don't believe in my love for you. And you will prove that you don't consider your life to be under my control and that nothing escapes me. I see everything. I love you. Hey guys, here's what I want you to think. I am the seer and I am the doer. But I want you to never think, how is this going to end? I want you to never think, what is going to happen? Because you know what? If you give in to this temptation, you demonstrate that you don't trust me. Do you want me to deal with it? Yes or no? This is your higher self talking to you. Do you want me to deal with it? Yes or no? Then you've got to stop being anxious about it. I will guide you only if you completely surrender to me. And when I must lead you into a different path than the one that you expect, guess what? I carry you in my arms. Yeah, I carry you in my arms. Do you know what seriously upsets you? It's your reasoning. It's your worrying. It's your obsession. Your will to provide for yourselves at any price. How exhausting you must be. I can do so many things when you, as much in your material necessities, as much as in your spiritual ones, when you turn everything over to me and you say you think of it, then close your eyes and just rest quietly. Take a breath here. And all these challenges, all these issues that you're facing, hand them over. You think of it. Just rest quietly here. Rely fully upon me, fully. You know, you pray to me when you're in pain so that I intervene, but in the way you desire it. You don't rely on me, but you want me to adjust to your requests. Don't behave like sick ones who ask a treatment to the doctor all the time, suggesting what the treatment should be to him. Don't do that, but rather, even in your seemingly sad circumstances, say to me, Lord, God of my being, I praise and I thank you for this problem, for this necessity, and I pray to you to arrange the things as you please for this terrestrial and temporal life. Make that your prayer, because I know what's best for you. Sometimes you feel like disasters increase instead of diminish. But you know what? Don't get agitated. Just close your eyes and tell me with faith, thy will be done. You think of it. And when you speak this way, I accomplish miracles when necessary. And you know what? I only think of it when you trust me totally. I always think of you, but I can help you completely only when you fully rely fully on me. Take a breath. Just give it all over. Give it all over. I am in you. I know your future. And I know the outcome that is needed for your highest good. So just hand it over. Because you did say yes. I love you. Feeling the embracing arms of your own love light. Your own beautiful self. It's not outside of you. It's all there the whole time. And so it is. We thank you, God. We love you, God. And we praise you because you know what's needed for me in my life, and I trust you. Together we say, Amen. Well, did you surrender your seemingly so-called issues and challenges to your very own I am presence, to your very own higher self, this omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent self that loves you and knows exactly what you need? Yeah. Beautiful, isn't it? So that was a prayer. It's called the Prayer of Surrender that Sai Baba taught, and I just channeled it in a new way. And it's just a beautiful prayer. So maybe what we'll do is put that prayer of surrender today out there for you, as it was said by Sri Satya Sai Baba. Yeah. Alrighty. So anybody have anything? What's going on? Anything at all? Did you know that God is in everything you see? Because God is in your mind. God is in everything you see. when God is in your mind. So when you see disaster and you're identified with this external world and you're all wrapped up in the chaos, then you are thinking with the crazy mind, the mind of the ego, which, as you know by now, doesn't even exist. It came into being when you seemingly fell from grace, or when that tiny mad idea entered into your mind where you thought you could do better than God. And where'd that get us? Nowhere. Nowhere. That's why we need to surrender and accept the atonement for ourselves. And the atonement is, I've never left the mind of God. And to forgive your past, to forgive the past, and to see how it served you, and it's brought you right here to this moment. Yeah. So does anybody have anything? Oh, good morning to all my beautiful miracle workers and friends. Together we're miracle workers. Yes.
Suyin on Zoom just says, hi all, I love the prayer of surrender. I feel empowered.
Good. That's the whole purpose of prayer. When we pray, it is the song that the Son sings to the Father, because the Father and the Son are one. Your I am presence in you. It's not external. It's not Buddha outside you, or Jesus outside you, or archangels or angel. It's all you. Your I am presence. And when we completely surrender to that, you should feel empowered, because that's the only power there is. The power of this presence within you. It's in your right mind, isn't it? It's so beautiful. I mean, right mind, that's the terminology in the Course in Miracles, but you are empowered this morning with that prayer. Okay, thank you, Su Yan. Anybody else have anything? Okay, let me get my notes here. Okay, so our lesson for today, hey, I have an idea since it's a new month. Do we want to do the lesson first, or do we want to pull an angel card? What do you think?
There's like a 20-second delay, so.
Okay. What do you think, guys? Okay, anybody? Lesson first or angel card first? I know. Because it's a really short lesson today, although I am...
Looks like
Angel card, angel card. Oh, I love that. Okay, let's do an angel card. That's always fun. All right, we'll get Jamie to shuffle up the cards. Hi, Linda Lyman.
JC says angel card.
And JC.
He's on Zoom.
Oh,
It's unanimous.
so beautiful.
Angel card.
Angel cards are awesome. And I just love these cards. I can't say enough. If you're interested in ordering these, here is the book. Really profound messages. Okay, so the angels are superimposing their hands over Jamie, and they're going to choose the card with the message that we all need to hear. Oh, sounds good. The message is belief. Belief. Okay? Let's see what the angels want us to know this morning. That's interesting, because last week it was blessing,
That's right.
which was the number 6. Today we're on number 7. Okay, I know. What is our present challenge? Harmonizing the duality of the ego and spirit. You have drawn this card to help yourself find internal harmony, so that the person you truly believe yourself to be can emerge as the dominant role in your life. That's your empowered self, isn't it? That's what you want to step forward, especially today. It's a brand new, for those of us here in Malaysia, it's a brand new month, November the 1st. A new day, a new beginning, a full moon, to let go of unconscious guilt. Drop it. What is it? Okay, this is what I'll do. I'll talk Course in Miracles and Angel card. How's that? Unconscious guilt it's like in the unconscious mind, you have judgments, defenses, attack mechanisms. You have fears and angers and resentments, but you don't know it's there. So the whole world will mirror your unconscious guilt. So what that means in a nutshell is anytime you get your buttons pushed, bingo, you have just found unconscious guilt. And unconscious guilt is the result of you believing that you left God. So the first guilt is, oh my gosh, I think I've left God. In fact, I believe that I do, and that's why I projected this world as an attack on God. This world is a projection of that original guilt. You projected a whole world of specifics, right? And how are you going to know what you feel guilty about? Or how are you going to know what you're holding resentment about toward? How are you going to know? You need a mirror. And so every person that comes into your life have been put there on purpose, because in your aura, in your field of energy, you have little black blobs. Can you get that visual? Of resentment, anger, hatred, jealousy, rage, greed, pride, arrogance, avarice, all of it. It's all there. And someone's going to show up and they are going to push your buttons. And you're going to think it's them. Because that's what the ego does. The ego, its agenda is to protect you from knowing God, your I am presence. That's what the ego does. It comes up with every possible way it can to keep you from waking up and knowing yourself as your greatest self. So we have a lot of unconscious guilt. Yeah. And that's why Jesus tells us, Jesus, which is your higher self, tells us, don't run from your darkness. Look at everything, those private thoughts, those hidden secrets. Okay, because you can't get rid of it by projecting it onto others. Okay, so we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that we are what God made. I am what is in God's mind. This oneness. Your anxiety. Anybody have anxiety these days? Stress. Feelings of hopelessness. All of this. That's what we hopefully surrendered to the I Am presence this morning. But the angels say your anxiety over being loved, appreciated, and approved of, or your emotional investment in being different, playing the rebel, ooh, or carrying on a solo act may be getting in the way of opting for the choices you need to make and living in the most conducive, living in a way most conducive to your spiritual life. I mean, when you get on a roll with the ego, it's like you don't care about love, waking up. All you care about is protecting and being in the survival mode. That's all you care about. Have you noticed that? When you fall off the spiritual wagon, you're right into that survival mode, and you're just wallowing in victimization, because the whole world that you made is made to keep you an innocent victim. Poor me, I didn't do anything. It's all about victimization. And remember, I talked to you before about the 4 archetypes in your root chakra? The victim is the most difficult archetypal pattern to transcend. This whole world was made to keep you innocent and everybody else the source of your problems, or everything else the source of your problems. So this card is suggesting to you that you are underestimating your abilities. Are you? Like, look at the gifts that God has bestowed upon you. Look at everything in your life that you have to be grateful for. And JC, I know you're watching from Zoom. Good to see you. And I just have to say, JC sent me the most amazing video. It was a TEDx talk, actually, that really touched my heart. And it was basically about from nothing to everything. But maybe we can post that, Jamie, on Facebook later. No, I'll send it to you later. We'll put that up. JC, thank you for that. We're going to put that on Facebook, and I invite you all to watch it and watch it through. It's about 17 minutes long. Really, really good. It makes you think.
Sorry, what's it called?
It's on my cell phone. I don't remember.
JC can send me a message on
Yeah, but we're going to post it. Just watch it, because it was so inspiring. Because I don't think enough of us appreciate what we have, the abundance that you have around you. And I'm not just talking food and money and just the beauty of our country. Look at Malaysia. How beautiful is Malaysia? I hear people talk about politics and the government, but very few people talk about the abundance of everything that's around us that we fail to appreciate. And the abundance in Canada, I mean, let me just talk that for a minute. When we're back in Canada in the fall, I am just overwhelmed with the pumpkins and the gourds and the vegetables that are harvested at this time of year. And I'm in such really deep appreciation when I go back to the West. And then when I come back to Malaysia and I fly in and I look down at the oil palm estates, and it just looks like fields of broccoli from the sky, the green chlorophyll from Canada, the sun bringing everything into its beauty and into when we're back in Canada in the fall. I am just overwhelmed with the mangoes and the gourds and the vegetables that are harvested at this time of year. And I'm in such really deep appreciation when I go back to the West. And then when I come back to Malaysia and I fly in and I look down at the oil palm even if you don't think he has, it just looks like fields of broccoli. It's a lack of appreciation and green chlorophyll from the sun. When I watch everything, let me just talk that beauty into when we're back in Canada in the fall, I am just overwhelmed. Oh. Okay. So anyway, we'll get it up there and you can give it a watch. But anyway, so don't underestimate your abilities and aptitudes, because you observe your life skills primarily from the ego level. And we do that all the time. It's always like, I'm not as good as her. Oh, I don't really have what it takes. And you're not coming from your higher self. You know, Baba always said, when you feel limited, stop and remember who you are. You are not limited. You are magnificent. You are omnipresent, omniscient, and all everything when you are coming from your higher self. So we're seeing everything from duality, from the ego's eyes. And how fitting is this angel message? Because God is in everything I see. Because God is in my mind. And listen, guys, you know all too well, the ego does not want you to see with Christ's vision. Because if you do, where will it be? Right? If you actually turn toward the light within you, and then you extended that light outwardly, there would be no more duality. There would be no more separation, no more fragmentation. The ego doesn't want that for you. The ego wants you to stay in your suffering and think it's happiness. Yeah. So, your selection of this card suggests that you can benefit from observing your life from spiritual dimension, from Christ's vision, from your I am presence, where limitations are actually focused opportunities. Yes, limitations are focused opportunities. How many people start businesses from limitations? Really, they look around, they're observing, and they see it as an opportunity. There are so many opportunities for us in this so-called shutdown. So many opportunities. I myself feel so grateful. I miss you all in person, yes, but I am so grateful for the internet, that we are here together and I'm able to reach out this way. I feel so grateful for this beautiful technology that can be used to connect us worldwide. I see the blessings in that. So the angelic message of belief is, when you are able to view, even for a few seconds, the beauty and the loving nature of your inner quiet mind or spirit, you recognize an inevitable split that lies at the basic level of your humanness. It's true, isn't it? The mind is split. And we've got to choose. You know, I think a lot of times the way that we deal with life is like, oh, the ego made me do it. But I think it's time that we really seriously consider that the only reason the ego exists is because you're choosing to believe in an ego. You are a soul choosing in every moment. You are deciding in every moment. The ego is a no thing, but as a decision maker, I am deciding. And who is that I in me that decides for the ego or for spirit? Identify with you as the decision maker. Identify with the decision maker in you who is capable of choosing between the two. That's just amazing. When I think of that, it's like, here's this choice, this person that makes the choice, this decision-making soul. You're not this or this in truth. You're everything. Choosing. So, in your mind dwells a duality that allows you to be two people and to operate within two vocabularies and belief systems at the same time. It's interesting, isn't it? One belief system is associated with showing other people the ways in which you are proficient and important. The focus in this belief system is on getting your mental and emotional needs met. The other belief system has nothing to support or prove and wants only to remind you that you can live in peace, love, and genuine abundance by accepting your non-grasping self or spirit. Whoa. Yeah, we're such emotional people. And it seems every decision you make is based on an emotion. And the higher self, the spirit in you, is working, helping you when you surrender to it, to transcend the lower nature, the emotions. Not that you won't have emotions, you'll still feel, but you won't be so reactive. And you'll come from a different place when you transcend the unconscious guilt. Strong emotions are coming from unconscious guilt. Strong emotions such as anger, strong emotion such as jealousy, green with envy, resentment. These emotions, they're strong and they cause reactions. You become reactive, right? Because the world from the ego is based on I'm a victim, I'm innocent, and I need you to throw my guilt on. So the angels want us to accept that we can live in peace when we fully rely on the I Am presence. The second belief system focuses on helping you to live in love and to believe enough in the power of this divine love, the I Am that I am, that you are encouraged to respect yourself and all other living things. You know, in the ancient mystery schools, if you were lucky enough to be chosen by a priest or a priestess, to be guided, the first thing that they taught you was respect. To respect your body, to respect the gifts that God has given you, to respect the chakras, your languaging, how you speak, to respect your seeing, to respect your hearing. Respect for yourself and for others was number one. Don't you think we've lost respect for one another in this world? Look at your relationships. Do you respect your daughter? Do you respect your son? Do you respect your mother? Do you respect your father? Just look at your relationships. Respect is paramount. And that was the number one first that was taught. Self-respect. When I come from my higher self, then I respect everyone. I respect my body. I respect my home. I respect the animals. I respect nature. I have a reverence for nature. And I know that I am walking on sacred ground. It's different. This world has lost its moral compass, you could say, when you look around. In your meditations, as you seek to gain insight into your life and into your divine nature, you may ask to be more directly guided. What a beautiful message for today. So when you go into your meditation tonight or this morning, ask that higher self in surrender, show me the way. Show me the way. And you know what's beautiful about following the spirit? You look like a weirdo. Because you don't fit into the form or into the box or the agenda of the ego's world. It's a different way of being. You're listening to the beat of your own drum. You're following the guidance coming from within. And you have to know that the guidance coming from within is going to work everything out for your highest good. And again, it may not be what you want, right? Because the ego has a whole defense. It's going to tell you all the reasons why you need to have it this way. And we fall into that trap. But when you listen to the Spirit and it gives you guidance that goes against the agenda of the ego, you do look weird. And if you follow it, you look even weirder. Look at people in the world that follow their own truth. They had to let go of things. They had to surrender attachments, right? Not easy, but with God, all things are possible. So we're seeking to gain insight. And we're asking to be more directly guided, to be held in a loving way and instructed by the forces of heaven so that you may find relief from the anguish in your life. And I talk to so many people who have anguish in their life. We all have anguish. What's your anguish? Don't hide it. Don't push it down. Don't keep it a secret and pretend you're all spiritual and holy. You're already that. You just forgot. Bring everything up. The angelic teacher suggests that you are being encouraged to redefine your life from the inside out, removing limitations and accepting your natural worth. You are worthy. You are worthy because God said so. Worthiness is godliness, and you are what God created. You are what God made. You are worthy. As you cease fearing your reflection of divine intention and begin to focus directly on living your fullest essence, then you will learn from the guidance of many dimensions. That's the thing. You know, when you make a conscious decision to turn your life and your will over to the care of God as you understand Him, the presence, you open the channels to other dimensions. You are a channel for these higher truths to come through. And then you just feel nothing but joy. Joyous living. Joyous living. That's how we're meant to live. But you've got to fully surrender. Give all of your troubles, whatever they are, to the highest self in you so that you can live in joy. Your mind and emotions are meant to reflect the beauty of your soul. Remember, you are the spark, the Atma, an individualized Atma belonging to the divine Atma. You are a soul, a beautiful light, here to experience nature, here to experience the song of a bird in the forest. You are here to experience the glory in an orchestra. You are a divine soul here to experience, a wave lapping on the shore. I mean, really, that's why we're here. But we forgot who we are and we get trapped. But you can find that joy again. It's within you. You can find it, you can live it, you can be it because you are it. That's what the angels are saying. Your mind and emotions are meant to reflect the beauty of your soul. And when you live with the energy of love shining through your life, you naturally have more confidence in yourself. It's so true, isn't it? You know, Jesus says in the Course in Miracles, the only thing that's missing in any given situation is what you have not given. The only thing lacking, whatever's lacking in any given situation, relationship, whatever, is that which you have not given. Because to live as a soul is to extend everything that God is. So you will naturally have more confidence when you stand in the love light of your truth, because this energy is a reflection of divine love. The spiritual opportunity that we have here is the guidance from your angelic teachers through this flower image reinforces the power of the energy generated from the spiritual realm. It's that beautiful magenta color. Look at that. So pretty. And by the way, colors are awesome. Today I was in a turquoise mood. Jamie felt like autumn. I felt like an ocean in the summertime. And what you put on reflects your state, right? Because as within, so without. So I was feeling like the ocean. I was feeling like remembering when we were in Sedona and just seeing the Native American sites in the Red Rocks. This was a beautiful necklace, handmade necklace by Navajo. And I was feeling that indigenous connection to nature, to the water. And it's interesting, my color reflects that. And Jamie was feeling pumpkins and pumpkin spice and autumn leaves, and her colors reflect that. Colors are powerful. They are vibrations. And they can help to raise your vibration, actually. So colors are great. While it may appear to you that the solutions to your life problems lie in changing only your attitudes or in adjusting where or how you live or the quality of your lifestyle, and we think that, right? We think if I move my furniture around today, I'm going to feel better. If I do this, if I get a new job, buy a new car, get a new house, we're always tempted to change the external. This card is suggesting that you are being assured that the changes you desire in your life will arise from a change in perception. Honestly, angels, did they read the lesson that we had chosen for this week? I think so. All is known, because the lesson is about seeing with vision. A change in perception that releases you to live in ways that reflect your spiritual beliefs completely. And I hope by now we all believe this one truth. I am what God made. I am that I am. Full stop. The flower's brightly colored fuchsia petals with darker recesses represent the natural foil for your spiritual energy. Your spirit shines out, illuminating your life no matter the physical circumstances. So the light in you is always there. And have you ever met somebody where you're just drawn to them? There's just something so beautiful about them. And I'm not talking physical beauty, as in pretty face or handsome guy. I'm talking, there's just an all-over beauty that you're so drawn to. There's just something about them. You're seeing the light in them. You're feeling the magnetic draw of this love. We all have it. And you can make yours more known by living a joyous life. This card is suggesting that you will find the most outer satisfaction by adjusting your inner beliefs. Over and over and over again, you know, in all the books over all the years that so many of us have read, it always asks you, what do you believe? If you believed you are, I am what God made, well, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You need to know what you're up against, seriously. What do you really believe? Because what you're getting in your life is what you really believe. You are being required to seek God as the center to your life. Put God first. As something that you don't want to take for granted until you want or need something changed. You know, it's so true, isn't it? When life goes on, I mean, the money's in the bank, got food in the cupboards, you know, things are working, it's like, yay! You just think you're on this easy peasy trajectory of it's never going to change. Hallucinating a happy world, which is better than being a miserable dreamer. At least you're the happy dreamer. But when that drops off, when the up goes down, that seems to be when we call to God, isn't it? It's like that's when we drop on our knees and go, God, why? But what if, through hard times and good times, through the highs and the lows, God is always in your heart? That no matter what, you put God first, no matter what. Thank you, God, for this lesson. What am I learning here? Show me. I am open. I want to grow. I want to be what you made. I want to demonstrate that. What if God was first and foremost in your life? Instead of when the money runs out, instead of when the coffer is empty, right? So the angels say, don't wait. Call to God now in every moment. Here's how we can apply the message. You are never upset for the reason you think you are. Isn't that true? Lesson 5 in the Course in Miracles. I'm never upset for the reason I think. Finding the pressure point in your ego. Do you know what your pressure point is in your ego? That's a good one, isn't it? Well, that helps you to understand that your ego's voice is different from your spirit's. Hey, that's a good one to maybe contemplate. What are my trigger points? What are my pressure points? Those are your buttons. That's your unconscious guilt. The first step in self-exploration is to decide what you are exploring. Choose the first upset of the day and ask your ego, why am I upset? So did you all have an upset today? Anything at all? It could be something like, oh, here's one that I had. So, you know, I have a dog, Wally, who I totally love. Anyway, he has 2 beds, one up and one down. He normally sleeps downstairs. Last night, he wanted to sleep upstairs in the hall in his other bed. So I let him. And I got up this morning because he was scratching at my door at like, what time was it? 5:45. And as I came out in the dark, I stepped in a puddle of pee. Yep. That was like a pressure point. So the question I'm to ask myself is, why am I upset? Well, of course, the ego would say, because the dog peed on the floor. And that really ticks me off. Because who wants to clean up dog pee at 5:45? Right? Okay. So now the angels are asking us to ask, why am I upset? And then write down your responses. Now ask yourself, what do you, my spirit, have to teach me about my upset? Okay. What am I learning? See, the first thing you would think of is this. I'm a victim. I am a victim of that dog pee. Right? If the dog wouldn't have peed, I wouldn't have felt this way. So again, the ego is a projection. It projects specifics. So the specific is dog pee on the floor. It's 5:45. But in the world of the ego, all these specifics come from the same place. No matter what the form is, the content is exactly the same. I believe I'm separate from God, and now I'm angry and feeling like a victim. So in order to get rid of this victimization, which is guilt, I will throw it onto my dog. I'm mad at my dog. I'm mad at the dog pee. I know it's silly, but can you see it? We always want something to throw our guilt on. I'll find someone to throw my guilt on because, after all, in this world of the ego, I'm a victim and I'm innocent. I'm an innocent victim of this big, bad, cruel, and harsh world filled with dog pee and everything else. And so I have the right to feel like a victim. That is what your whole life has been about. Just take a look at your past. As I said in the write-up, look at your past and look at all the places in your life where you have built walls or you've built your life around this one idea, this concept. I am an innocent victim of this cold, cruel world. But all you did was believe that you're separate from God, and you throw your guilt out onto someone or something in order to feel relieved. And you never feel relief because it goes unconscious. That's what unconscious guilt is. So the question we're asking then is, what do you, my beloved spirit self, want me to learn here? What are you teaching me about my upset? Write down your spirit's words and use these as the standards for today, for the day's living. If you have trouble finding your spirit's voice, write out the second question on a piece of paper. Then write your response to this question for 10 minutes without lifting your pen. Oh, that's good. Just keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. And you'll find that, in spite of your ego's presence, you'll be able to delve more deeply into your inner self. This exercise of writing into your truth is valuable whenever you want greater insight and feel blocked from discovering it. That is really true. I like to do that. Just write. And it seems to, it finds a life on the paper. You'll know what it is if you keep doing that. So thank you, angels. That was such a beautiful message. When you agree? Yeah, profound. Alrighty. Anything? Anybody have anything? Okay. Well, let's look at our lesson then. We're on lesson 30. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. What we're learning in this lesson is that everything you see outside is coming from how you think. It's like thinking and seeing are one. And we don't believe that yet. We kind of do, but we're not awake enough, really, to choose my thoughts carefully, because what I think in here becomes what I see out here. So we're being reminded here that thinking and seeing are the same thing, exactly the same thing. Yeah. The idea for today is the springboard for vision. From this idea, will the world open up before you, and you will look upon it and see in it what you have never seen before. Nor will what you saw before be even faintly visible to you. When you return to love, when you return to oneness, when you are in your right mind with the pure spirit thoughts, you see a different world. And when you are in your ego and you are projecting guilt, you see a different world. And we are told time and time again throughout the Course in Miracles, love and fear never coexist. everything and nothing never coexist. So to have vision means I am seeing with the love light that's in my mind. And to be in duality means I'm seeing metaphorically with these eyes, and I'm seeing everything as divided, separated, fragmented, specifics. I'm seeing all this as having a separate meaning. Okay? Today, we are trying to use a new kind of projection, which would be extension. We are not attempting to get rid of what we do not like by seeing it outside, because that's what we do. We think that this stuff in the world is just showing up. It's just in your life for no reason. And you're identified so strongly with the concepts of the ego and this projected world, which was made as an attack on God, that's all you see. But Jesus is saying to us, don't be tempted to get rid of what you don't like by seeing it outside. So what does that mean? Everything that you don't like about yourself, you throw it out. You try to get rid of the things that you don't like about yourself. But you don't know that. That's the problem. It's like the sleeping mind. So when people act out in front of you, you want to make them go away. But they are just animating what you don't like about yourself in thought, word, and deed. And Baba always talked about congruency in thought, word, and deed. What that means is when I go into my mind and I change my mind and I get into right-mindedness, then my words follow and my deeds, they're all in alignment. They are congruent. But right now, you think what you see in the world is just randomly there and you're reacting to it because you don't realize that you thought it into being. It looks like a specific, right? COVID-19. I hate wearing masks. I'm mad at the police force. I'm mad at the government. These are all specifics. But when you recognize that you believe you're separate from God, and that to be angry about one thing is to be angry at everything. So it's like you're picking one thing out of this form world to be mad at, one specific thing. But if you're mad at one thing, you're mad at everything. Because the mind is thinking itself separate from God. So Jesus is saying, don't be tempted to get rid of those things you don't like about yourself. You think that you can hide your guilt in the world. It's like we work really hard at making other people wrong. Think about all the people in your life that you make wrong. They're not like you. So you make them wrong. You're trying to get rid of guilt. You're trying to get rid of what you don't like about yourself. Not being open, not allowing people to be who they are, right? You don't have to agree, but don't not like them because they have an opinion. So Jesus is trying to teach us that there's another way of looking at absolutely everything. There is another way of seeing. Instead, we are trying to see in the world what is in our minds. And what we want to recognize is there. So there's a line, a little paragraph from the Course in Miracles that says, perception seems to teach you what you see. Because when we see it, we actually think that's it. We don't recognize that it came from a thought. But witnesses to what you taught, it comes from a thought, meaning I am in some way, in thought, word, or deed, exactly what I'm seeing in the world. And I'm teaching people how to show up in my space by who I be. What I see is what I be in thought, word, and deed. In your consciousness, in that aura, you carry everything with you. And by the law of magnetic attraction, you're drawing everything to you that is you in thought, word, and deed. So your judgments, your defenses, who you attack, all of that is going to be in your space. Jesus says, it is the outward picture of a wish, an image that you wanted to be true. You're going to see what you want to be true. And what do you want to be true? Your brother's guilt. You want to make them guilty, and you stay the innocent victim. I didn't do anything. So all you see in the world is your brother's guilt, which is yours. You put it out, and they reflected it. Remember, the ego's prayer is that you never look at the contents of your mind and see the love that's there. Are you kidding? It does not want you ever to know your I am presence. So whatever it takes to keep you in projection, that's what it does. And you are the decision maker. You are the one choosing to identify with the thought system of the ego, which is based on scarcity and lack, defense and attack, hatred. The ego was made as an attack on God. From the text, chapter 13, it says the ultimate purpose of projection is always to get rid of guilt. That's the purpose. That's why you project. That's why you see guilt in your wife. Oh, she's such a, ew, my wife, angry at her. Or your husband. He's such a, the ultimate purpose of projection is always to get rid of guilt. What I think about myself, what I say about myself, and what I feel about myself for believing that I left God. I got to get rid of that. So I need a scapegoat. Yet consider how strange a solution the ego's arrangement is. You project guilt to get rid of it, but what you're actually doing is concealing it. That's unconscious guilt. So the more you throw out, the deeper you bury the guilt in you. Just look for those places in your life where you get your buttons pushed when you hear something you don't like, when you see something you don't like, or when you're experiencing something around people that you don't like. It's all you. Thought, word, and deed must be congruent. As I think, I shall speak in alignment with how I think, and I will take action. My deeds will be in oneness with my thinking. You do experience the guilt, but you have no idea why. Every relationship that we have with the person is either holy or special. And remember, the ego is all about being special, being separate. I am this and they're no good. It's all about me, right? Me. Solar plexus, by the way, this is the battlefield between light and dark, if you will. If you're in Egypt with me, it's between Set and Horus. The light and the dark, choosing love or following fear. Love is a choice. You are the decision maker. Don't identify with the ego thinking, oh, I have no power. As a decision maker, you have power. I am choosing to go up to the higher heart, to move up and get into the higher dimensions. I'm choosing that. Where are we here? And you know the other thing that I was thinking about this the other day. Have you ever noticed that when you decide what another person is about, it's like you have these conclusions that you make about a person? Excuse me. And you always believe that your conclusions about your wife, your husband, your kids, your neighbor are right. You have conclusions about people. That is insanity. That is insanity. And it's so interesting because when you really make the choice to do your inner work, really to make it about you, you are just focusing on forgiveness and never looking and concluding or making up stories about other people. The stories that you make up about other people or the conclusions that you make about other people, you're talking about yourself. You're talking about yourself. So you are concluding that there's such a loser about yourself. How to move forward in that? Because remember, everything is energy. And so what you think of a brother, you think of yourself. So you're stuck, he's stuck. But the minute you set yourself free by saying, I am open and I am what God made and I'm willing to be the fullest expression of myself and I'm willing to forgive, that person can get the help they might need. Because you are no longer locking them down with negative energy. Yeah. Thus, we are trying to join with what we see rather than keeping it apart from us. That is the fundamental difference between vision and the way you see. So when you are coming from your I am presence, you see stuff going on in the world, but you recognize it all as a call for love. You don't see it as an attack on you because you're not a victim. Anytime you feel woe is me, you are a victim. And like I said, giving up the victim archetype is really difficult. The ego would have you believe that if you give up being a victim, then you're a spineless jellyfish. You need to maintain some kind of innocence after all. Can you relate to that? You know, it's insanity. But we do it all the time because we're so afraid of love. We're so afraid of being vulnerable. We're afraid of that oneness. Today's idea should be applied as often as possible throughout the day. Wow. So our lessons are, Jesus is giving us the lessons now, telling us, okay, we're going to do it as much as we can today. Okay, this is a real practice. Whenever you have a moment or so, repeat it to yourself slowly. And then looking about you and trying to realize that the idea applies to everything you do see now, or could see now, if it were within the range of your sight. God is in my mind because God is in everything I see. Real vision is not limited to concepts such as near and far. To help you begin to get used to this idea, try to think of things beyond your present range, as well as those you can actually see. Because you know what? Real vision doesn't have anything to do with anything physical. It's all about the love light, the spirit in your mind. Because we have to remember that there's no difference between what you think and what you see. So if I'm in the mind of God, then I'm in the mind of God everywhere. So it doesn't have anything to do with what I see in the physical world, because thinking and seeing are not separate. They're one. Minds are joined, bodies are not. Real vision is not only unlimited by space and distance, but it does not depend on the body's eyes at all. The mind is its only source. That is why when you are in God's mind and you are seeing with Christ's vision, you can be in a jail cell and your entire family's with you. You can be in lockdown with the COVID situation and feel this deep peace within your heart, that all is well, because it has nothing to do with anything in the physical world. It is all in the mind. I am in the mind of God, full stop. There's a line that Jesus says coming from the text. He says, nothing so blinding as perception of form. Nothing so blinding as perception of form. That's what's blinding you. You know, everything that you think or see or even believe, from that point on, once you're in the mind of God, everything you think, everything you see, everything you perceive, everything will be wrong, because you're in a whole different frequency. We talked last week about fifth dimension, higher dimensions. For the sake of understanding, we put it into linear form, linear time, linear hierarchical, whatever. But in God's world, there's no hierarchy. It's just total oneness. But as you expand, as you move into Christ's vision, what you see, what you experience, everything will be the total opposite. It'll all be wrong. It'll be so different, because the frequency that you're in is not of this world. And that is why miracles transcend gravity. Miracles transcend time and space. They're of this unified quantum field. It's just so beautiful, where things drop out of the blue, just randomly, spontaneous joy, spontaneous change. It's amazing. And I think we're afraid too. We're afraid of that, because we're so identified with the body, with the ego. We're so afraid of being happy, or joyous, or to be in this oneness, in this unified field. We're afraid of the quantum. We're always afraid of the unknown. We're afraid that we'd have to give up something in this world, right? And you've identified with everything in this world to the degree that you think it's you. And that's where that fear is, the fear of being in the quantum mind. It's like, and that's why Jesus said today, or the I am presence in the prayer of surrender, give everything to me. Even that fear, give it to me. I'll show you. I'll show you. To aid in helping you become more accustomed to this idea as well, devote several practice periods to applying today's idea with your eyes closed, using whatever subjects come to mind and looking within rather than without. Today's idea applies equally to both. You know why? Because ideas leave not their source. Whatever is in your mind is there. It's never anywhere else but your mind. Ideas leave not their source. Yeah. God is in my mind, so God is in everything I see. Ideas leave not their source. This is profound, this lesson. Yeah. The reading, and I'll leave you to do that, is chapter 5. It's the introduction. Okay? Let's see if I have it here. Get my Course in Miracles. Does anybody have anything they want to say or add on? Oh, I got that death ball on my laptop. Just take a minute. Okay. Let's see. So we're on chapter 5. The introduction for chapter 5. Healing and wholeness. To heal is to make happy, because when you're healed, you're in your right mind. So once you're there, how can you not be happy? You will be happy. Joy and happiness lets you know you're in right-mindedness. I have told you to think how many opportunities you have to gladden yourself. Every instant is an opportunity to gladden yourself. And how many you've refused? Yeah. Not wanting to go home. Not wanting to surrender and to accept the atonement. This is the same as telling you that you have refused to heal yourself. Why do we do that? Why do we refuse to heal ourselves? The light that belongs to you is the light of joy. Radiance is not associated with sorrow. That's why when you're around people that are in a joyous state, they seem to radiate something that you want, or you're jealous of and want to kill them. I wonder if that's why Jesus was killed. Do you know what I'm saying? Joy calls forth an integrated willingness to share it, and it's so true. When you're in a joyous state, you just want to give it away. You just want everybody to feel happy. And promotes the mind's natural impulse to respond as one. Those who attempt to heal without being wholly joyous themselves call forth different kinds of responses at the same time, and thus deprive others of the joy of responding wholeheartedly. To be wholehearted, you must be happy. If fear and love cannot coexist, and if it is impossible to be wholly fearful and remain alive, the only possible whole state is that of love. There is no difference between love and joy. So when you don't feel joyous, you are where? In the ego's domain. Which is, just check yourself today. Try to make a mental note of how many times you fall. There is no difference between love and joy. Therefore, the only possible state is wholly joyous. That's the only true state, because you were created out of joy. If love is joy, you were created out of joy, for joy, as joy. It's the only possible state and the only true state there is. So when you're in any other state, you're not living, you're dead already. To heal or to make joyous is therefore the same as to integrate or to make one. That is why it makes no difference to what part or by what part of the sonship the healing is offered. Every part benefits and benefits equally. If you don't like one person in this world, you don't like anybody, because you're looking at a specific person. But remember, seeing and thinking are the same. If there's one person you don't like, you're in a mad hallucination. And you're just picking someone out of that hole. But to hate one is to hate all. To love one is to love all. And when you love, everybody benefits. And benefits equally. You are being blessed by every beneficent thought of any of your brothers anywhere. Think good thoughts toward your brothers and sisters. Want for them peace and joy, happiness and abundance. Want that for them. You should want to bless them in return out of gratitude. I am so grateful for my brothers and sisters. You need not know them individually, or they you. The light is so strong that it radiates throughout the sonship and returns thanks to the Father for radiating his joy upon it. Only God's holy children are worthy channels. See? Jesus is telling you right here that you are a worthy channel of his beautiful joy, because only you are beautiful enough to hold it by sharing it. It is impossible for a child of God to love his neighbor except as himself. That is why the healer's prayer is, let me know this brother as I know myself. How beautiful. I am what God made. Let me know my brother in that same light. Gorgeous. Okay, guys, that is our wonderful session this morning. And God willing, we'll be back on Wednesday for our soul astrology, some interesting configurations happening in the skies that I'd love to share with you. So I'll see you all on Wednesday, but for now, I wish you all such a wonderful day and a beautiful new beginning to the month of November. And just know this, I'm sending you a million hugs and kisses. So see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.